Grissel Bloodsong Fell. Fellcallers are powerful Trollkin warriors, boasting voices capable of shattering stone and shaking the sky. Female Fellcallers are rare, but Grissel Bloodsong has gained singular power through her mastery of this ability. Her mate's death left a hole in her heart, and she filled it with a new cause, fighting to save her people. Bloodsong was born in the far north of Ok, but her wanderlust compelled her to travel. She sailed the length of the western Amoran coast and spent several years in the human port cities defending merchant ships against pirates and Krixian invaders. She enjoyed her mercenary life at sea, but found the return to the city living after every voyage stifling. Eventually, she lost her patience for humanity entirely and left the coast for the banks of the Black River, along whose links she battled river bandits for a time. After visiting Turnen Crag, Grissel found an unexpected challenge, the relentless advance of a fierce and proud Trollkin named Turgle Redeye. She initially turned aside his interest, but he continued to pursue her in hopes of taming her fiery heart. They eventually got into a drunken brawl that tore a tavern down to its foundation. Not dissuaded, he approached her the next day, bearing a smile and a quip. He slowly earned her affection through the quiet humor, irrepressible optimism, and his skill with the blade. For the first time, Grissel considered settling down, and the two of them journeyed to Skarsforth Lake, where several Trollkin Kriels had villages near the clay soil Wash River. One day, a contingent of Scorn raiders attacked the east. Turgle left Grissel's side to thrust himself heroically between the three Cyclopses and a Trollkin mother with two small infants. Turgle fought bravely and brought down one of the attackers, but his hide was not as impenetrable as his resolve. Before Grissel could come to his aid, one of the remaining Cyclopses struck him down. Flying into a blood rage, Grissel unleashed her calls in pulverizing blast of sonic vengeance. Turgle's death changed Grissel Bloodsong. She began a personal war against the Scorn and became an icon among the war-ravaged Trollkins in the Skarforth region. She has remained at the battlefront, where her presence emboldens Trollkins who follow her into battle. Contact with the Chief Madrak Ironhide renewed Grissel's hopes for the Trollkin victory. She persuaded her people to join Ironhide's displaced Thornwood Kriels, knowing the only chance to survive would come from cooperating against the various threats they face. She feels they part of a larger community as she walks among the rugged and courageous volunteers serving in Madrak's ragtag army. She fights not for empty coin, as when she was a mercenary, but to preserve her Trollkin brethren. This purpose has given her strength to endure the lasting grief of losing her mate, which she feels keenly in the calm after every battle. Well, that's actually kind of a sad story, losing your mate, or husband, wife, partner, whatever you want to call them. And Fellcallers are very dangerous because I've never seen people be able to command the same voice of a Trollkin. Like even menoth in their choirs or whatever, they are able to manipulate certain things, but a Fellcaller can literally knock down a building with just their voice, and I feel like that's sometimes a little bit stronger than anything. So be wary of this, and be wary of this lady and her hammer, because if you see her running at you, she is a force to be reckoned with. And as in every Trollkin, they're always going to be bigger than humans, unless of course they're pigs, and even then I feel like pigs are about the same size as a standard human. Well, maybe not the exact same size, but definitely by weight. Let's see what her Mark 3 to Mark 4 changes are, and see if she's gotten better, worse, or the same, and I'm going to say probably the same. Alright, and of course we are going to start with their stats as always. She's still a Speed 6, still a Mat 6, still a Rat 6. Well, actually, no, sorry. She's a Rat 7 now, so she's gotten better. Defense still a 15, armor still a 16, her arc is still a 6, and her control range is still a 12. And of course, she does still have tough because, well, she is a Trollblood, and of course, she has dual attack because, well, she's a warcaster or warlock, so that does make sense. Alrighty, well, and it does appear we do have some changes here outside of her rat getting better. So she does have her Fel Calls, as always, and Fel Calls are fantastic abilities, and they usually affect a lot of people. But it looks like we still have Cacophony. So while within 10 of this model, enemy models cannot cast or channel spells within 10 inches of her. So, you know, definitely a frontline caster, and if your opponent is a lot of spellcasters, this will lock them down pretty well done. Heroic Ballad has been taken out. Heroic Ballad did give guys an additional melee attack during their combat action. That sounds a little dangerous, so unfortunately that has been removed. She has Hoof It, so I guess that was allows models to move and not be targeted by free strikes, which makes sense that was removed because free strikes are no longer a thing. Well, they're still a thing, but they don't do the same thing they did before. And then it appears Unbreakable has been taken out, so you no longer can give model or unit Unyielding the +2 armor. And then Harmony has been removed. Harmony was a ability to allow models to have more than one Fel Call active at a time. So if there were multiple Fel Callers in the army, you know, you could hit somebody with 2 different Fel Callers and give them crazy high perks. So unfortunately that has been taken out, probably to balance it out, make her a little less powerful, but you know, we will go over her new Fel Calls that she has. So she has Desperate Pace. So it's a range 5. Target friendly Trollkin unit, they gain a +2 to their normal movement speed. And then she was given the Fel Call of Money Shot, so range 5. Friendly faction warrior model / unit gets +2 rat and +2 to its ranged damage rolls, which is actually pretty staggeringly damaging for that, because I've seen Money Shot be able to make you know, normally not very accurate, not very strong units of gunners incredibly strong on the battlefield and be able to take out, you know, chunks out of huge warjacks or colossals. But yeah, it's very dangerous. Looks like she was given Reveal or Revile. Anyway, knock down friendly faction models within 10 of her immediately stand up, and then models that became knocked down this turn are not affected. So yeah, very useful, especially since Trollkins all have tough, which means if they do tough, they are knocked down, and that ability really makes them even better. So yeah, and then we have Tenacity as one of her Fel Calls. So a target friendly faction warrior model / unit. If this model's in range, they gain Feign Death, so they can't be targeted by ranged or arcane attacks while knocked down, which is kind of awesome, because being hit with anything when you're knocked down, well, you lose tough, so might as well take care of that now. Alright, let's go over her weapons, see if anything has changed there. Alright, so she has her Sonic Blast, which is her voice, I imagine. It has been upgraded to a Spray 10, so that's awesome. Rat, it was a Spray 8, now it's a Spray 10, so she got a lot more range on that. Although the Spray template is changed, it's no longer in a wide spread, it's just in a straight line for the new Mark IV. This has been given Gunfighter, so she can use it in melee without any issues. It is still a pound 12 damage roll. It appears that she now has reload on it, so she can shoot it twice, which at a range 10 power 12, you can really, you know, clear out some more heavily armored dudes with that. And then her Deafen has been nerfed down to Stun, which makes sense since models no longer receive orders or anything like that, so it still gives the models hit, they suffer a -2 defense, which makes sense that they would change that, because in Mark IV, there are no orders. That's just how it goes. And then her Resounder Axe is still a Mat 6, although it is now a range 2, so it's a reach weapon, and it's still a power 14 magic weapon. So as far as her weapons go, her weapons have gotten more dangerous, have gotten more range, and are able to do a little bit more, well, I'm going to say more damage, but more consistent damage. But let's check out her feat and see if that's changed. And it appears Fel Chorus has changed, unfortunately. So Fel Chorus used to be, they can immediately cast spells without spending focus, or cast a spell without spending focus, and that Grissel can use all 4 of her fel calls. This activation, no longer the case because her fel calls have been changed to battle plans. So let's read what the newer one says. Grissel can use her battle plans 3 times this activation, but can only use each battle plan once. So I guess she can really use like 3 of the 5 that she has all at once, which is, in retrospect, that still is a crazy amounts of damage. Get you guys moving faster, gets them shooting harder, stands people up, gives them feign death. She can lock down spellcasters. It's very dangerous, very powerful regardless. So yeah, I would say it's still as good, although the free spells are always missed, but that's how it goes. Let's read her spell list and see if anything has changed there. And of course, yes, she has changed a little bit in her spell list. So they removed Boundless Charge, but Boundless Charge has been replaced with Onslaught, which spellcaster and friendly faction models beginning their activation in her control range gain Relentless Charge. So it just gives everybody a plus, or that gives everybody Pathfinder while charging. So that's actually a little bit better because it can affect a lot more people. It does reduce, of course, the speed boost that you get from Boundless Charge, but it makes everybody, gives everybody Boundless Charge, or yeah, gives everybody Pathfinder, which is always nice. Looks like Calamity has been removed, so she no longer can make a unit suffer -2 defense and -2 arm. Her Guardian Protector has been replaced with Hollowed Avenger, which is the same thing. Target friendly faction cohort model gains Righteous Vengeance, which Righteous Vengeance, if 1 or more friendly faction warrior models are destroyed or removed from play by an enemy attack while within 5 of this model with Righteous Vengeance during the last round during your maintenance phase, the model with Righteous Vengeance can advance up to 3 and then make 1 basic attack. Doesn't say what kind of basic attack, so that's even nicer. Because on the original Guardian Protector, it gave Righteous Vengeance to a War Beast, and it specified it had to make a melee attack. And well, that's kind of nice that it's no longer a melee attack, it's just an attack. So if you want to move up and shoot something, that's always an option in that particular version. And then another spell she was given, I'm not sure if I've read this yet, she was given a Deflection. So while within the spellcaster's control range, friendly faction models gain +2 to defense against ranged and magic attacks. Deflection lasts for 1 round. And I want to note in Mark IV, it does have to specify ranged and magic because certain defense spells do not cover magic attacks. I'm not sure why they created that, because I figure if something's hard to shoot with a gun, it's probably hard to shoot with magic, but neither here nor there, not entirely sure. And then the last of the spells that she got was Rift, which is basically the same thing as it was before. Still a range 10 spell, still power 13. Yes, it's offensive. And then it does Rift. So center a 3-inch template on the model directly hit. The template is rough terrain and remains in play for 1 round. I believe back in the day it used to be a 4-inch template, but 4-inch templates aren't really used that much in a Mark IV, unfortunately. But as far as a spellcaster goes, she is very good at helping her guys get even better with her fel calls. And she is super dangerous with that Sonic Blast that she can do, because if you can lower people's defense and you can increase your ranged attack damage rolls and rat, you can make a pretty decent ranged group out of this. And then she's just as solid in melee as well, with a defense 15 and an armor 16. So, and being able to give herself deflection, or everybody within her stuff deflection, you kick that 15 defense up to a 17 defense against range. They're probably gonna be dodging bullets and magic like crazy on this one. So yeah, she's a very dangerous warcaster or warlock, and I do not look forward to seeing her in the future. But let's